One of the harder things for moderns to understand is that in the 16th century there was absolutely no notion of denominationalism. For centuries, probably almost from its beginning, the church had thought about the church as either the true church or false churches. There were, today I'm a Presbyterian, you're a Baptist, somebody else is a Lutheran, and we have differences. We may even see some of our differences as important, but we regard one another as Christians. That was not the case through most of the history of the church. You were either in the one true church or you were part of a false church. And Luther initially hoped very much to be a positive reforming influence in what he saw as the one true church. But when it became more and more obvious that the Roman Church would not listen to him, would not reform itself, Luther's conclusion was Rome is establishing itself as a false church. That's why fairly early on in the 1520s, Luther begins to talk about the Pope as the Antichrist. And again, maybe when people in the 21st century read that, they think he's being sort of rhetorical. He was not being rhetorical. He believed that the Pope was the eschatological revelation of the Antichrist at the end of the age. And so Luther is very earnest in everything that he says, both about the Pope and about the Church of Rome. And what's interesting, when you read most Protestant writers in the 16th century, they never refer to the Catholic Church. They refer to the Roman Church. And their argument is that we are the Catholic Church. We are the universal church. We stand in unity with the church of all ages. Now, Luther and all the reformers believed there were true Christians in the Roman Church that still held to the gospel. But they believed they could say that the Roman Church was a false church because its official teachers had rejected the gospel.